it is public perception. There's a certain amount of that that's going to be due to how users interact with companies that value data privacy. We see organizations being sued in civil suits because of how they're utilizing customer data. I want to be known as a company that treats your data well. Osano is a B Corp, so we focus a lot on sort of free and open internet and data privacy as it reflects on society as a whole and not just on organizations. The concept of individual property and proprietary data belonging to you and how the companies you interact with are actually treating that. Now we're in a place where it's kind of more well known what that data is being used for and how that data is being misused. Reactivity is fine, but reactivity is only going to get you so far. You still have the ability to be told by a regulator, you're not doing this correctly. So it does have a bit of a monetary setback if reactivity is the goal for your organization. The difference between showing people that you are compliant or checking boxes towards compliant and actually creating and building from the ground up policies and procedures that support a positive use of data or that actually focus on data privacy as a whole. Those are the two main things that you might see. Customers that really care about their privacy stance, they're going to be the ones that engage with a lot of our different modules. And the reason for that is because those modules connect to one another, but they also have very distinct use cases that you might see them used for by very specific users. So different parts of your organization might use different parts of the Osano platform, but they all work together and speak together in your general privacy position. And these pieces are going to support different parts of that privacy program, and they all connect to one another, even if they are not owned by the same individual. All of these kind of speak together because they're kind of showing you a holistic view of your own data footprint as you're growing that sort of privacy stance. Of the reasons behind why they might move over to Osano come with the ease of implementation, so the ease of getting up and running, as well as the ease of management on a continual basis. That piece of the puzzle is a continuous scanner. It's something that's always going to be running, always going to be identifying new and additional information, but the maintenance is pretty light on it going forward. Same thing can be said with the data subject access rights tool. A lot of the automations there are very useful. So depending on if you're switching over from like a homegrown solution, Excel sheets, or from another tool, the automation behind assignment and the workflows make it a lot easier to manage over the course of the customer life cycle. Onboarding phases may be a little bit more front-loaded in terms of work to transition, but over the course of the life cycle, once that initial work is done, it's usually a lot easier to maintain going forward.
A lot of what Osano is focused on compliance. We spend a lot of time building our products so that they are the most compliant in the category, that they provide management on our side. Takes a lot of the weight off of a customer to do. We're going to monitor privacy laws. We are going to make changes to our tools to make sure that you are compliant. You do not have to do that. And that takes a lot off the customer's shoulders to say, hey, I don't have to be the one listening to the CNIL as they determine what is and isn't applicable when it comes to consent preferences. I don't have to worry about listening to any DPIA. Osano's going to do that for me, and they're going to make the updates that need to be made to keep me compliant in those locations. You're just starting to scale. It's a lot easier to kind of keep all of that in your head. And then a lot of it comes down to the Osano team and the support that you get while you're implementing the tool. The hand-holding as we walk them through the training, all of that really tends to sit well with them when they think about coming to us from another solution. This is going to change drastically based on which tools you're implementing, how large the organization is. There's going to be a lot of variables in each of these implementations. This generally can be seen across the board. So we're talking about a consent management solution. Generally, you're either going to come from another solution or you're going to come from greenfield, meaning then you got nothing going on. That process we see is generally pretty quick if you have the resources for it. That's non-continuous work. Now, larger the organization, obviously that's going to vary pretty significantly. But generally, we've seen customers get implemented within 7 days of non-continuous work. Data subject access rights, the process of it is a little bit more complex. We want to make it a lot easier in the future once we have these automations in place. But setting up those data stores obviously is going to change based on the type of organization you are. But the big pull here is time savings in the future and also a single source of management, proof of consent, proof of compliance for regulators and for auditors. All of those things are going to be really important as well.
Bye.